Hello! In today's video, we'll be going over cascading parameters. So let's get right into it. First, let's focus on what we're going to be making today. Today, we're going to be making a chart that displays the used car prices of specific models of used cars over the years that they're sold. So to do that, what we're going to do first is we are going to create a query. So we're going to use the query builder, and since we care about the car model and the average price of them, we're going to call this the car model query, like that. And we're going to choose our connection. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a main table, and the table that we'll be using today is cars for sale. And it has a bunch of different information about the cars that we're interested in, but for the sake of this query, we care about the year of the car and also the price of the car because we want to know the average price of the car. So let's add that to our table. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add a query parameter. And how we do that is at the bottom here where we add a new condition, and we want not our brand but our model to be equal to, and the way we create a query parameter is by clicking this dropdown and prompting user for the value. So now we have this part of the query done, but we're not exactly done yet with our query. We're going to want to go to the right here where we can configure prompts, and we might want to add a default value. So a Camry might be a model that we want to add as our default model value. And then we also want available values. So let's get it from a database table. And let's choose our database table. Let's do cars for sale. And the value that we're going to choose is, of course, our model because we want the available values for the models. So we're going to press OK to that. Next, we're going to move over to reports to create our chart. And let's call this used car prices. And let's choose the query we just made and let's make it a chart. So we're going to press continue. And we can see up here we have our model, but nothing's showing up. So let's set up our chart before we do anything else. Our chart type is going to be a column. And first, what we're going to choose is our year. And basically, our year is going to be our category because we want models of cars being grouped based off of their year. Then in our values, we're going to do price. And we need to have some sort of aggregate function to basically aggregate all this different data. So we don't want the sum, we want the average of it, right? So just to explain what's going on here, in this example, the model Camry is being grouped by the year. So there might be a bunch of different used Camrys from 2024 or 2023, and then they're being grouped by that year. And then how all of them are being grouped by is by averaging out the prices. So that just explains what the chart is showing here. Now, one issue we might run into while looking at this is if we look at our model dropdown, we'll see there's a bit of an issue here. And it's that there's a whole bunch of different models that are available to us, and it's not exactly clear what brand they're a part of. So you might be able to recognize some of them, but others you might not. So how we can fix this issue that we have here of way too many models is through cascading parameters. So let's get into how to fix this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our queries, and what we're going to do is create a new query. Let's call this car brand. And basically, this will simplify what we're looking at because first we'll choose a car brand, then a car model. So let's press continue. And for this query, it's actually going to be pretty simple. So we're going to do cars for sale. And since we're setting up a cascading parameter, we only need to pick one thing, and that's our model because we're going to be cascading on the model. So that's all we need to choose here. Don't need to choose price, brand, or year. So let's add that table. And then let's add our query parameter here. Let's say brand is equal to, and then let's make it a query parameter, and then we'll press OK. Now we need to configure the prompts of the car brand. First, we might want to make the default value Toyota. And our available values, let's get that from our database table. So let's choose the table we've been using, our cars for sale. And then in our value column, we want to choose brand. So let's press OK to that. And now we have that set up, but now we need to go back to our car model query to really set up that cascading parameters. So what we're going to do here is instead of getting our available values from a database table, we are going to get it using a query. And then with our query here, we're going to choose one, and we're going to choose the car brand query that we just made. And we're going to press OK on that. Now we're going to go to our value field, and we'll see here, this is the reason why we only needed to pick the model for our car brand query. It's because we're cascading here, and really all we care about for the available values here is the model. So let's do that and press OK. If we go back to our report and enter that, now we can see the cascading parameters at work. First, we select a brand. So for example, we might select Chevrolet, right? And we'll see the models that are available are all the different models that are associated with Chevrolet. So for example, the Silverado, we fetch that, we get all the information for the Silverado. And this is true for every single brand. We can get the models that are associated with that brand. So if we want that, boom, we get all the information about the specific brands that we care about, and it's a lot more clear what we're looking at. So that is cascading parameters in Visual DB. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.